What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It is HorrorFan34, and welcome to another video, and welcome to, once again, another weekly watch challenge video. I just want to say, once again, man, thank you to my buddy Rob for allowing me to be a part of this weekly watch challenge. I think this has been a lot of fun to do. And stay tuned for the end of the video. I'm actually going to be announcing the topic for next week that Rob came up with this time. And I think it's a really cool one, too, that he came up with. So I'll save that for the very end. But for this particular week that we did for weekly watches and everything like that, so far we've done superhero movies, we've done Sports Week this past week we just did, and then the second week we did what was it again? I gotta look at my list. It was Survival Week. There we go. I almost forgot there for a second. But now getting on to the topic at hand here for week number 4 that we did. Week number 4 was another idea that I came up with, and that is 80's Action Week. So basically for this week, it'd be like any kind of 80's action films, and I tell you, there were so many good ones to pick from the 80's that were action movies. It was really hard to choose. And I think Rob, I did get a chance to look at his video. I just didn't comment on it yet, but I really enjoyed his picks quite a bit. A lot of really good picks in that one that he did. It was, like I said, it was really hard to choose which ones to watch because there were so many classics from the 80's. But I figured these would be my ones that I watched this week from Monday through Friday. So let's get started. So starting off on Monday, Die Hard. The first Die Hard, 1988. Classic film. It was really the film that jump-started the career of Bruce Willis. And it gave birth to one of the greatest action characters of all time in John McClane. I think, what more can you say about the first Die Hard that hasn't been said before? Hans Gruber, Alan Rickman, fantastic villain, Reginald Vell Johnson, Bonnie Bedelia, and some of the henchmen. You have Alexander Gutinoff, Al Leong from Bill and Ted and Big Trouble in Little China. He's one of the villains. So, what more can you say about the first Die Hard that hasn't been said before? What more can you say? It was the birth of a very well done action franchise, well, especially mainly for the first 4, and it gave birth to probably Bruce Willis is probably his most popular character of all time in John McClane. But the first Die Hard is awesome, without a doubt, a classic 80's action movie. So that was Monday. Going on to Tuesday, The Terminator. Easily had to have been The Terminator as my second choice. I still say this is my favorite Terminator movie. Although I do love T2, I think Part 3 is underrated. But I still think this is, to me, the best one of the 3. Because I like the whole idea. This is sort of like being a horror movie. And, and Arnold being a villain. Because Arnold ever really played a villain, other than probably this film. Or Batman and Robin, but because Arnold was always sort of like that action hero, but one of the few times he got to play a bad guy, he was a pretty damn good villain. And like I said, Linda Hamilton, Michael Biehn, Paul Winfield, directed by James Cameron. Great cameos by Brian Thompson and Bill Paxton. I think this guy's short of a 6-pack. I love that scene with Bill Paxton. May he rest in peace. What more can you say about the first Terminator that hasn't been said before? It's one of the best action films of the 80's. It's up there with Die Hard for some of the top action films of the 80's. So that was Tuesday. Getting on to Wednesday, Big Trouble in Little China. When you think of the quintessential definition of 80's fun, this is one of the top things I always think of when it comes to 80's fun for movies, is a film like this. It's a really fun adventure film, and definitely one of Kurt Russell's best characters as Jack Burton and his Pork Chop Express, the semi truck. And Al Leong, I was mentioning Al Leong has a role in this, and Kim Cattrall, way before Sex and the City, plays the love interest to Kurt Russell. Dennis Dunn, who was in Prince of Darkness, also written by John Carpenter. Love, what's his name? Like James Hong as Lopan, Peter Kwong, and the other guys as the Three Storms, and this is like the quintessential definition of 80s fun. And so many great memorable lines of dialogue. And if we're not back by sunset, call the president. You know what good old Jack says? What the hell? This is all good Jack Burton at the Pork Chop Express. Hope you're all doing well out there. Classic 80s classic 80s fun. Big Trouble in Little China is definitely one of those movies. Now going on to Thursday, you're actually looking up at it over here, if I can get to it. Yeah, right up at the Alien quadrilogy set right there. Aliens, 1986. My favorite Alien film. Speaking of James Cameron, here he is back again after 2 years after he did The Terminator, he did Aliens. Aliens is without a doubt my favorite James Cameron film, although The Terminator, though, was a close second for me, but Aliens I love. Love the follow-up to the first Alien, kind of more of an action film compared to the first one, which is more of a horror movie. But I love Aliens. I love the whole final fight between her and the Queen Alien, Ripley and the Queen Alien in the suit and everything. Love the cast, Jeanette Goldstein, Bill Paxton, once again, may rest in peace. Like I said, Sigourney Weaver, Carrie Henn is new, and you have, like I said, Bill Paxton, like Lance Henriksen, Jeanette Goldstein. A lot of really good people in the cast. And the musical score by James Horner, my favorite musical score of all time. Dan, 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 dan. Love that musical score. And they use that musical score a ton of times in multiple trailers. I think they used that score before, and I think the trailer for The Good Son, if I'm not mistaken, Henry, if I let you drop, do you know how to fly? And they play the Aliens theme music. It's pretty funny. But Aliens is great. I mean, what more can you say about Aliens that hasn't been said before? And then to finish it off on Friday, I figure, you know what, I'll finish off 80s Action Week with my favorite buddy cop movie. Why not finish it off with that? And that is Tango and Cash. My favorite buddy cop film of all time. Love this movie a lot. The chemistry between Stallone and Kurt Russell is just dynamic between the two. And Jack Palance, may he rest in peace, excellent villain, Jack Palance. You also have Robert Zadar, the maniac cop himself, in a small scene. But, just like the pairing of these two guys, and I always wish they would have done a sequel to this, and I wish these two guys would have done another film together. I mean, they would be in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 together, but I wish they would have done another one, probably like in the 90s, or maybe even... Yeah, probably even maybe the mid-90s, probably. Maybe the early 90s, back when Stallone had films like Cliffhanger and things of that nature. But Tango and Cash is definitely a great way to end 80s Action Week, is with my favorite buddy cop movie. I adore this film a lot. So that is pretty much it for 80s Action Week. And I just want to, before I end the video, I just want to let you know the topic for next week that Rob decided to go with, that he chose to do, is masked killers. So it'll be a masked killer week. So basically it'll be about serial killers that deal with wearing a mask. So it could be any kind of film that deals with a person wearing a mask killing people. And I definitely have some really good ones I can choose from that kind of subgenre. So, once again, Rob, thanks for coming up with the topic once again to do that one. Looking forward to doing it, and want to thank you guys very much for watching this weekly watch. And if you guys want to participate in this, please do so. The more the merrier. Me and Rob are doing this as of right now together. But if you want to join in and participate with us, that'd be awesome. But until then, guys, I will see you guys next time, and I will see you in the next weekly watch challenge.